Hello. For those of you who are tuning in, this is an inside scoop. I'm Rose Slam Johnson. I'm a small business coach. I work with small business owners, managers, and even just self-employed professionals who don't even consider themselves to be small business owners. I'm here with my friend Patricia. We have worked together many years ago in the tech world, and Patricia is a small business owner, an artist, and a customer service expert. I don't know if you would use those identities, but that's how I
Yeah,
see it, and so
that's
much
great.
more. Also, a recreation lover. We've had some fun adventures together.
Yeah.
So, welcome, Patricia. I'd love to give you the stage to introduce yourself. Tell us the nitty gritty. Well, anything you want us to know for your initial introduction, and then I'll drill down with questions as we go.
Yeah, for sure. So hi everybody. My name is Patricia, and I started my career in customer service about 20 years ago. Yes, it's been that long. And now kind of like in more of the maturity of my career, I've noticed that I'm not necessarily getting like the passion and enthusiasm I want out of my days. And so I've decided to, in the last couple of years, pursue my actual passions of art, which I'm a major of, an illustration major, and seeing what I can do and how I can impact an audience in the world by stuff that I create. And I think, yeah, it's been a great journey so far, and I'm happy to dive into it more.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So the demographic questions are give us like the chunk. You can share your age if you want. You gave us a context for how long you've been in the world, in the professional world, your role within your business size, how long that particular business has been in action. Tell us a little bit about in this case, I think it's a product. Perhaps there's service components to it, and who you work with, who you support.
Yeah. Well, I have a couple of jobs. So should I kind of go over all of them, like the main job that I have, and then the art business that I'm creating?
Let's focus on the business. I think we'll get to the how the job plays a role into it, but I want to hear about your business and what you've been up to in your kind of your artistic and your self vision expression.
Yeah. And so I first like wanted to focus on how I could, really make an impact from a visual perspective. And previously, I started a Pause by Patricia business, which was dog painting, two-dimensional oil paintings for just friends and family, and even some word of mouth people. But I found that the ROI wasn't as great as I wanted it to be. I was spending more hours painting than actually like collecting income. And so I have chosen to go on a more spiritual path, I guess, with my art, and bring about an installation, like a three-dimensional installation where there are light boxes, and they light up, and I can basically like sell them into restaurants, bars, nightclubs, or even somebody's house. And so that is a broader audience, and I could actually like get more of a return on my time with selling something like that. And I'm kind of creating that business plan right now as I launch on June 6th.
Ooh, so exciting. We're moving towards it. This is great. And I think this path like really speaks to the kind of experimentation, go back to the drawing board. What were the aspects of it that I liked? Where did the money come in, and what do I actually want to do? And I love this. So tell me, what is a light box? What's it like for?
Yeah, so I'm focusing on more sacred geometry. If you don't know what that is, it's basically like if you ever see like a flower of life, like emblem, they're like more like mandalas.
Mhm.
I'm laser cutting those within a hexagon shaped box. It's like literally a wooden box. And there's a piece of plexiglass over it, an LED strip kind of shines through it, and you're able to actually change the colors, patterns, and everything of that LED strip from your phone, because it's a Govee app.
Uh-huh. Okay, I can see it. It's like a decorative piece within
Yep.
and it kind of sets the vibe, it sets the tone. I can imagine restaurants that want a certain tone. It sounds like it's like harmonizing and kind of like really making a statement for what is going to happen in that space.
Absolutely. And you can even change what's great about the Govee LED strips that I chose is that you can just change the vibe of it, whatever you want. It could be a still light, or you can put it in a nightclub and it could be a strobe light. But what's really great is like the image that I'm actually, showing there, that's just like showing through to everybody as well.
Ah, cool. And is that going to be one particular image, or will you do a couple different images?
I'm starting with a couple images right now, just to kind of show everybody my work, but I'm very open to custom work where I actually develop an image such as like a logo or branding for these clients, where they could, basically personalize it.
Ah, very cool. I love it. So it sounds like there's like a production aspect to it. There's the sales aspect, and
Yep.
there's the design. There's so many different pieces.
There's a lot of moving parts. I really dove into the deep end with this one.
Oh yeah. Do you tell what is it like? What's it like to be in the deep end, or what does that even look like?
It looks like just basically being very organized and also understanding how much time goes into production, how much money goes into production, but then also how we're going to market it, and how we're going to market it in a way that it gets to a broader audience, rather than just like, friends and whatnot. And I think that's probably going to be my biggest challenge going forward as we move in, to understand, is Etsy going to be the right, move for me? Is my own website going to be the right move for me? And how I'm going to actually be able to get this image out there so people know where to find it, and also know that it's there and exists.
Yeah, I love it. I think you're speaking to a challenge that so many small business owners or folks that just like have even just a concept uh face before they even face it. Right. I think that
Yeah.
that piece right there can be something that actually like keeps us at our job or in at home watching television, because we're like, I'll never be able to figure that out. So
Yeah.
maybe and you're right on the path of where I was going to go next. Like, what are some of this speaks to one of them, but what are some of your kind of frustrations or challenges that have arisen in your journey as a small business owner?
I think it's basically well, first it was the vision, right? I needed to get the vision, and I wanted to be very confident about it, right? And so that took a lot of patience. And I think it's like when you're in that kind of vision perspective, you have to like understand that it's really about the journey and rather than the destination, and that vision will really come to you with time, at the right time. And I, don't want to do anything willy-nilly, or, just kind of throw something out there and see, if it sticks. I really want to have that confidence in myself so that I can market it, to move forward. And so it's literally taken me probably about 15 years to get the vision that I've wanted. The other thing now is just being in the market, and again, just trying to get the visibility. And how do I get the visibility? And I think that's going to be a learning as well.
Beautiful. I love it. So getting really clear on what you are bringing to market, and
Yep.
then, and I love it. I think you really speak to a process, a journey of getting really clear on what it is, which I imagine involved bringing multiple things to market, right? Like either Pause by Patricia or other places where you were kind of dipping your toe into the water, putting your feelers out into the universe, and refining that vision. And I think giving that 15 years really speaks to that journey and that process. And then yes, of course, like figuring out how to stand out in the marketplace as you go. I love it.
Yeah.
Any other challenges you face, like with your managing your time or dealing with money, sales, customer service, those kinds of pieces that you feel like mentioning before we?
Yeah, I mean, financially, it's like I've prepared to be in the red for this moment, and it's like I definitely have had to like outsource some of my financial needs to family members and stuff, just to kind of like make what I need to be able to market it. So obviously with art, like a lot of supplies are very expensive, and especially in today's world, everything's expensive. So yeah, it's definitely been a little bit of a financial burden, but if I'm putting the financial burden into it, I can only expect success out of it. And that's just being confident in your ability to kind of like use the law of attraction, right? At your best, so that, if you really are passionate about it, you really believe in it, and you want to put the time into it, then you have to get something back.
Sweet. And whether it is like actual money or lessons for the next round, right? And I love that term, preparing for the red. It sounds like you want to tell us like a little bit about how you prepared for the red. Is it like savings, budgeting, tracking? Like how do you actually prepare for the red?
For me, it's preparing that I'm going to have to look at a credit card debt. So yeah, it's just, again, like jumping into that deep end, like, okay, this is what I want to do. I'm ready. So yeah, and I've had to put expenses on credit card. But what I'm looking forward to next tax year is to be able to use those purchases as potential write-off, which I'm excited about. But again, that's another, it's a year to go, or 6 months now to go, before that tax season comes through.
Right.
Rose, would you mind if my dog is barking? Can I just hop off really quick? I'll be right back.
Go for it.
Okay.
All right. So I so appreciate you naming the pieces along the way, like making a conscious decision to go into debt or to take out a loan or make an investment, and to kind of strategize and enroll family members in that process. So I love that. Have there been any skills that you've kind of intentionally developed along the way that you were like, I don't know how to do this, I'm going to learn how to do this? And then,
yeah. So again, like having the vision, and then being able having to like create it is the other journey, right? So I've learned a lot of woodworking. So I had to get an immense amount of woodworking tools such as saws, drills, like all kinds of things. And that was, most of the expenses that I had to go through. I bought a laser cutter, so I had to learn laser cutting. And then I have resin in this piece too. So, learning how to like properly manage the resin process, which can be a little tricky sometimes. And yeah, learning light burn, which is the laser cutting program. So yeah, everything that really kind of entails building something like this. And I think there's still opportunity there. And I'd like to probably reach out to some of the woodworking friends after I'm kind of launched and everything, to understand how I could pretty much like, build a stable structure, so it doesn't break. Like, one thing, to be concerned about is what is this product going to look like in a year? Right. Is it, gonna, tint? Is it going to yellow? Like, and making sure if like it drops, like, is it going to break? And will I have to manage returns or exchanges or whatnot, or repairs?
Yeah. Oh, I love it. What another like life cycle of a product. And yeah, so cool that you're getting to launch a business and develop these kind of cool life skills and artistic skills.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely feel like my father has been like an influence from a personal level. Like, my dad's a tinkerer, he's a handyman, and I really, really like look to him as like, that's really cool that he's like kind of able to fix everything. So I like working with my hands. I think a big thing for me that I got distracted, or that detracted me from painting, was that I was sitting down and just staring at something all day, rather than actually moving around and being physical.
Oh, I love it. Any other skills, like business level skills, that you were like, that you kind of pulled into this project to support you?
Right now it's probably going to be managing finances, understanding where either if I need to cut costs, if I'm not making enough profit, and really how to market. With the Pause by Patricia business, I definitely, did some promos. So I, wanted to see where the engagement was coming from. And, just kind of monitoring that. I think going like down the road, I'm going to have to learn a lot about marketing.
Cool. And any ideas of like any tips on how you figured out the finance? Like you mentioned ROI, return on investment, and all these other pieces of like, is there any way that any clear kind of moments where you develop those skills, or any clear plans for how to develop your marketing skills?
For the business plan, I had a friend send me a couple of tabs with a spreadsheet of a successful business example. This company, I think they do like cupcakes in like New York or something like that. And he had shared this business plan with her. And it actually worked out really well. And to see kind of the progression of like, okay, it was slow, 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 slow. And then all of a sudden there was like an uptick in basically like revenue. And it was just like really nice to see. It's like, okay, expect there to be a little bit of like a slow start for a minute, right? Even if you have a great product, you have to kind of produce buzz around it, hype, word of mouth. People are really into it. And so being patient with that process, I think, was really important to see. So I have that spreadsheet now. I have like how much everything costs. And then, you know, like what I'm going to be pricing it as. If I need to raise or lower the price, you know, in the future, then I will. But yeah, it's really just nice to have like just some sort of sheet out there.
Yeah.
Or, you know, a couple of different things, whether it be marketing, finance, and like to-dos, just to have to keep yourself accountable.
I love it. I love it. Any other ideas of how you will develop your marketing skills to take your product to market?
I'm probably going to lean on a couple of friends who are pretty into marketing. They said hashtags are really important. I'm not quite sure I need to like take any classes, but I'm going to kind of see how it goes. And I think, again, being patient and also agile with how you're marketing. And, you know, one friend actually suggested to me this morning, going and looking at successful people in that kind of or type of business to see what they're putting out there, you know, whether it's like marketing every day on Instagram or, you know, a couple times a week, and where their responses are coming from, how much they're commenting on those posts, to kind of raise the engagement.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay, might be a tricky question, might be an easy question. If you could change the order in which you developed those skills, looking back, is there anything you would have developed in a different order?
Yeah, it is a tricky question. I could probably answer it in like 6 months to a year.
Yeah, we'll come back and see what you're up to then. And
Yeah.
order of operations comes to you.
I guess it's like I would need to understand more of the success to see where maybe I could have switched some things around. But I feel like the vision, then the product, and then basically like the launch and then the marketing around it. I might say maybe I probably needed to start with marketing first. But yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah. I mean, vision, product, finance, launch. Yeah, makes sense with like the marketing kind of coming through as we're going. I like that trajectory. I've been studying marketing, and one of the things that one of my teachers, Tad Hargraves, talks about is the route, the order of operations. So that's what I keep playing with. We'll have to have more conversations about it as we go.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about money. And you did mention this a little bit in that you had to purchase some tools, but are there other things that you've bought that or invested in, paid for, services, products, whatever, that solve challenges, that some of the challenges we've either discussed or that you haven't mentioned yet?
You know, I haven't. I'm a pretty independent person, and so I've tried to just kind of figure things out on my own. But there really hasn't been anything that's just been like an aha. It's basically like, this is my vision, and these are the tools that I'm going to need to make it a reality. But yeah, I haven't purchased like no consulting, and no other like, I guess, yeah, nothing else.
Any other apps or anything that you're even currently spending money on that's supporting you and having things go smoother?
I'm probably gonna have to buy Canva as a subscription just for the marketing assets, so I can distribute those out to my friends, to really get the word out. I have Photoshop, and that definitely helps. Yeah, but nothing that's like too special that is like a tool, I guess, other than my table saw.
Table saw can do a lot, right?
Yeah.
Any other juicy tips on how you might use money to run or launch your business?
I haven't focused on really like promoting on like Facebook or Instagram or anything like that. I'm not quite sure I'd go down that route, but we'll see if that's kind of like what direction you were kind of looking at.
I mean, I think there's probably a few different realms of investing. There's consulting and
Mhm.
support and coaching and that kind of thing. There's products or like services that you like Canva or QuickBooks or various things. Yes, and then there's like paying for marketing services. I was kind of trying to see if any of those had been things you had interacted with or either experienced or benefited from.
I mean, as far as just like a website goes, I really like Squarespace a lot, and that's been a really good tool to use, and it's very agile to be able to like build your business on that. And that can be I mean, it's not pricey, but it's something. But it's definitely something that has helped just kind of create, I guess, like holistically present my vision.
Great. I love it. That's helpful. Okay. I always like to talk to people about coaching since I'm a coach. I'm just curious, like, have you worked with a coach on any of these kind of challenges that you've been facing in your business?
I've worked with a professional coach at my previous company, Fictive. I got professional coaching from them the last 6 months I was there, and she actually pushed me to do more of my art. She was an artist herself, and it feels like, and I just talked to my coworker about this today. It feels like, whatever might be happening at your day-to-day job, is fine. Like as long as you're doing your job and you're, decently happy there, but you're going to even be more happy if you're living out your life purpose and passions on the side. And yeah, to she, my professional coach, like really like harped on that, or like emphasized that as really like a big thing. And even if you're not taking your passion to a business, just to be able to create or do something that really makes you happy can really just like make your day, and even help in being more like I guess productive at your day-to-day job.
Right. You show up with more energy, you're more happy to be
Yep.
there, that like your life is more fulfilled in all the parts. And yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And I love how companies are investing in coaching for their employees, knowing that it's a service to them as an employee, but also as an individual.
Yeah.
So what were some what were some takeaways you had from that working with that coach?
Well, she went into a little bit of Buddhism, a little bit. I'm not necessarily a religious person, but I'm a spiritual person. But it's always really interesting to see some of the takeaways from certain religions on like, like a really positive note, right? And Buddhism was basically like, nothing is permanent, everything is temporary. And I've really kind of like lived with that, whether it be through, feelings or emotions, or even the process that I'm in right now, even if there are some down times, or maybe even if like, I get a troll, like, saying that my artwork sucks, later on down the line, it's just like, oh, well, that will pass. And, you just kind of like, keep going, and understand the ebbs and flows of how you're creating this structure in your life, and business.
Beautiful. I love it. So from your experience with that coach, would you recommend coaching to other business owners?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it's funny because like at Mind Gym, we offer coaching as well, one-to-one coaching, and that's our big seller right now is, I guess, utilizing a personalized experience to make, create a better workplace for yourself and create a better, career trajectory. And that really goes with anything that you're doing. I think I did a spiritual mentorship last year, and I learned so much from it. It was only like 3 months, but that really was pretty much the catalyst for what I'm doing now.
Oh, beautiful. Isn't it amazing how we can do these things and maybe they're short term, maybe they're long term, but they can just have such ripple out effects?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So any other courses or programs or consulting that have supported you along the way that you want to mention here?
No, I think just having that career coach and at Fictive and going on my own like kind of spiritual adventure and figuring out where I can learn. I'm probably more of a self-learner, so I'm a little resistant to classes. I kind of zone out and just get bored. So that's where the one-on-one time really has worked for me.
Yeah, totally. I've been thinking about the experience, the coaching options, because there is like you can get a one-on-one coach as kind of the premium package, and either your employer pays for it or you make the investment, and it's totally a tax deductible experience if you're a small business owner. And you get this one-on-one experience if for like slightly less of a pay per minute, but still supportive. You can take the course and maybe your mentorship involved other people. Was that a one-on-one experience or was that like with a little bit of a group? It was one-on-one.
Yeah, one-on-one.
Yeah. So it's like there are these group experiences and then there's the books and the self-learner and the like the classes that I find an online class with no live moment, a very hard moment to engage.
Yeah.
Those are the options out there that I've been kind of toying with. All right. So tell us what's next for you and your business.
The launch on June 6th. And I'm really excited about that. I'm getting some good feedback so far on my website. And I think just the ability to put it out there, even if it doesn't work, or even if I have to change the vision, it doesn't really matter. The fact that like you're putting the energy in, you're putting your passion into it and just putting it out there into the universe and seeing what happens, I think is a little scary, but also really exciting at the same time.
It is so exciting. You're already in the universe and you're going to bring your product there.
That's right.
I love it. Is there like an ideal service or program that, sorry, there's a train going by very far away, but I don't know if you can hear
No worries.
it. It's fun. It shows how I am in near Emeryville, the Amtrak.
Yeah.
So yeah, if there's an ideal service or program that can help you solve some of the challenges, I don't know, maybe it's around marketing or getting your product out there. Do you have a sense of what that might be?
I think it's going to probably be marketing scheduling. And there's a website out there that kind of does it for you. I think it's a pretty hefty fee. I think it's like $50 a month to do it, but I've considered it because to keep up on all the marketing, like the marketing schedule that I have every week is going to be really challenging for me, especially since I don't use social media a lot and I don't post a lot for myself. And it's just kind of one of those it's a drag for me. So I'm probably going to have to look into a couple of tools or plans on how I'm going to be able to push these marketing messages out.
I love it. A couple people popped to mind too. I share with you later. So who else do you follow? Who that inspires you? What experts, authors, or other folks that are out there creating content do you follow that keep you going?
Yeah. I'm actually just listening to a webinar from an artist, Kamora Jones, and she's talking about just like her process within creativity. And I think a lot of us creatives get kind of bogged down in self-judgment and like, maybe this isn't good enough, or we just like don't really know what we want to do. And she's done a great webinar on just kind of like how to be patient with yourself, but also like just create to create and not have to put any pressure on what that is and if people are going to like it. So that's good. I also follow a sacred trinometry guy on Instagram, and he does wood mandalas, just like kind of I'm doing, but without the light. And those are really good. So kind of like following more of the woodworking types of people, but then also some of the galactic and spiritual artists out there to see kind of like what messages they're getting and channeling.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
It's so great. The coming in from multiple angles and really provoking your creativity, your expression, and the expression of others. I see it. I love it.
Yeah.
So, that's the arc of my interview, but is there anything else that you're like, oh, there's one more thing that I think a small business owner should know before they X, Y, or Z, or you sparked this other thing I want to share?
No, just be patient in the process and follow your heart, and you can't go wrong.
Ah, I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me and to share
Yeah.
your experience with other small business owners and self-employed professionals to like really see what the options are for this journey.
Yeah.
Thank you all for listening, and I hope you will come back for another Inside Scoop soon.
Thanks.
Oh, what's your website?
Aria5d.com.
Okay, we'll put it in the comments.
Yep.
All right, thanks everybody. See ya.
Bye.